For all the best boxing content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that bell for notifications.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut, where it's Showbox, the new generation. Brought to you by DiBella Entertainment in association with Turner Construction, Showtime, and by Mel's Diesel Service of Lincoln, Nebraska, owned by Mel and Judy Isley. Tonight's action is sanctioned by the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulations, Mark Brown, chairman of the Mohegan Tribe. Introducing our three judges scoring at ringside. They are George DeGabriel, Steve Epstein, and Tom Kazmarek, and our referee, Mr. Mike Ortega. Boxing fans, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds of action in the junior middleweight division. Presenting first, fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing white trunks with red trim. He weighed in at 152 3/4 pounds. His record stands at 8 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 4 wins by knockout. Please welcome, all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska, Patrick "One Punch" Thompson. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He wears black trunks with silver trim and weighed in at 155 pounds. He enters the ring with a perfect professional record of 14 victories, no losses, 9 wins by knockout. He hails from Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome the Iron Horse Sechew Powell. 8 rounds, junior middleweights.
Gentlemen, we went over the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
Taylor tape, despite having only 2.5 weeks notice, Thompson came in at 152 3/4. The lightest he's been in 5 fights. As always, he's in really good shape, Nick.
And a couple of keys when we look at the rules. No 3 knockdown rule, or the 3 knockdown rule is in effect in this, but the standing 8 count is not. Referee you just saw, Michael Ortega, the guy in the middle, 3rd man in the ring. He is about to get him started now. This one's scheduled for 8. Sechew Powell is the left-hander in black. And it's One Punch. Patrick Thompson in the white with red stripe. Backing up right now. Steve, Powell, flat out, to me, has to be more aggressive than the last time we saw him. He was very cautious against Brewer.
Yeah, how much of that was because he got dropped in that fight? You know, he's a boxer first, and Thompson's best weapon is his right hand, which usually is a good weapon against a southpaw. Let's see if Thompson can land it.
All right, Powell definitely coming forward. Powell, the slightly bigger guy, weighing in at 155. Thompson only 152 3/4. May not seem like a big difference, but it's Thompson boxing off the back leg now, trying to poke that body and penetrate the left-hander. And that's the key, Steve, how to solve the southpaw riddle.
Oh, Nick, this guy's never fought a lefty before.
Oh, he gets tagged with a beautiful counter as Powell goes right down the pike.
No surprise that Powell will land his left hand. If you've never fought a southpaw, that left hand seems like it's coming out of nowhere. You don't see it coming as an orthodox fighter.
Absolutely, and he's working it nicely behind the jab. He feinted there, backed up, and it looks like Thompson's trying to come forward now for the first time in this fight as he eats a quick combination from Powell, who looks as sharp as we have seen him. Anthony Thompson, good counter right hand from him. His hands are up. They admit he's got to work on that defense. So far, again, he's taking a lot of shots from Powell, who's fighting it beautifully in control, Steve, but with authority and aggression.
He looks very comfortable in there. He looks very relaxed in there. And remember, the one time Powell was on Showbox, remember he had a delay in the ring before the start of this fight. he really screwed him up. You know, it screwed up his timing, and it happened to the other guy as well, of course. But I don't know if he ever recovered mentally from it.
And here he is in the corner, a place his corner doesn't want him to be. Why not use his movement and speed and mobility?
Let him go.
To confuse Thompson. They like his legs. This guy really has good wheels, Steve.
Well, Powell's last fight, a very impressive boxing win over George Armenta, and that was the only complaint his corner had: stay off the ropes.
What do you think of Thompson's defense? Taking a lot of shots, but adequate at least, Steve?
You know, I really don't think he's just not accustomed to that left hand coming. He doesn't see it when Powell leads with his right and then follows with the left. He doesn't see it.
Spirited first round as Powell cracks again with that overhand left. And again, just before the bell. For Patrick Thompson, this is a leap, literally, into the great unknown.
I've never fought a lefty. I've sparred plenty of them. The thing you do is you stay away from their power hand, keep that left foot outside of theirs, and throw right hands at them. Turn your right hand into your jab hand and try to hook off the jab.
I'm not really a classic southpaw. I like to go both ways. Sometimes I like to move to the right, sometimes I like to move to the left, depending on the opponent that's in front of me, you know, and I'm just gonna go out there and do what I do best, just box and do what comes natural to me by reading my guy and taking advantage of all the openings.
You just heard Sechew Powell, and he knows he's got to exploit that southpaw stance. And Thompson, you get all the sparring you want, Lincoln, Nebraska and such, it's not the same thing, is it, Steve?
No, or hardly. And no offense to Lincoln, Nebraska, but I don't think that's the sparring capital of the country.
Thompson, though, claims he's always in condition, stays in the gym, and here he comes, really pressing forward as he accelerates his attack. And now it's Powell just brushing the ropes with his back, intent to battle back from the corner. Now middle of the ring for Powell in black. Thompson once again somewhat in retreat, trying to set up, and Powell trying to knock him off his pins before he could get set.
Thompson's landed 2 nice right hands this round, which is 2 more than he landed in the first round.
Left hand seemed to have certainly hit Thompson flush. Whether it stunned him or not, he's not showing any evidence of having his world rocked. Now his gloves are up, but he's trying to penetrate and find that opening. And Powell finally with a body shot to give Thompson something else to worry about.
You know, Powell will land some big shots, maybe even score a knockdown or a knockout if he puts his punches together. If he starts looking for one left hand, it won't come.
That's a good point. I love his aggression compared to the last time we saw him again. He was so cautious against Grady Brewer. Now he knows he had 10 rounds under his belt against Armenta. As you said, he boxed beautifully in that one. But here he comes. He knows he's got to win in dazzling fashion, Steve. There's no question about it. This guy's 8-3-1. I mean, give Thompson credit, but a late bloomer.
Right.
Powell should be able to handle this guy.
And the substitute, too. You know, Powell was set for the biggest fight of his life against Kadzoev. It fell out, and he's fighting a sub. He doesn't want to score his 3rd consecutive decision win.
So in terms of mind games, how do you avoid a letdown? Certainly you'd suffer one. He knew Kadzoev would be purportedly a bigger fight, maybe put him on the map. But if you don't look good in this one, you fall off the map as well.
Nick, you know, motivation comes easy, I think, for Powell, because he's been on Showbox once and he didn't look that good. So if that's not enough motivation to come back and fight on national TV, he wants to look good. That's enough motivation right there.
Well, he looks like it now. Plenty of drive from Sechew Powell as he hammers a charging Thompson. So he gets to nail Thompson while he's reaching. But I got to give Thompson credit. Steve, he's game as they come. He's coming forward, really into this fight, not holding on at all, and really forcing Sechew Powell to fight.
Oh, I think if Thompson gets backed up, he has no chance of winning.
Now trying that jab against the left-hander, didn't want to abandon it, trying to stick that lead right. He talked about moving to his left away from Powell's power. And that's what he's doing right now, doubling the jab for a change as we close out round 2, and Powell scores with an exchange.
doing okay. A lot better that round, okay? 3D. Lot better that round, okay? But hey, you got to keep him moving though, okay? Keep him moving so he can't set up on you, all right? Okay, 3D. Again. See, he's trying to pick you now. Yeah. See what I mean?
Action from round two. Like most southpaws, Powell's left hand is his big shot. The ropes might have kept Thompson up there. Another look at the same punch. Interesting that Powell led with a hook instead of a jab. Either way, the left hand landed flush.
Get through. Okay. All right.
Pretty relaxed corner. Midge Minor is the man. He and Thompson, far from any entourage. It's a duo, and that's it. We head to the third. This is scheduled for 8, so both men realized they had to fight, had to start fast. Thompson so used to fighting the so-called house fighter, and once again he finds himself a vast underdog. A crisp exchange as Powell lands, showing that hand speed. Thompson trying to read him, trying to see, but he's got to get off and not wait, Steve.
Powell does have fast hands, there's no doubt about it. And when you see it when he punches in combination.
Right there.
And he's been punching in combination all night.
Resets. Boy, nice job of creating those openings as he led with that uppercut to the jaw. So a right lead uppercut from Powell. Now he's moving to his left, as he said. He's unconventional in that sense, not always moving to the right the way a lot of lefties do. There's that left hand, that right hand low though, Steve. We talked about that.
Don't hit behind the head. Don't hit behind the head.
Very creative offensively so far, Powell. You know what, Nick? So many southpaws that you see, you might as well chop off their right hands. They don't use them. Powell is using his right hand, hooks, uppercuts.
And Thompson slipped a little bit there. Don't think it was from a punch, but he's on the receiving end of more as Powell is outworking him badly in this round. Halfway through the third, scheduled for 8. Here in Uncasville, Connecticut, we're at Mohegan Sun on a cold winter night. Sharp left hand from Powell. Body looks open as Thompson has his gloves high, and Powell is looking that way.
Haven't seen much work to the body by either guy, really.
Powell probing there now.
Thompson has been down one time in his career, if you're wondering about his chin. Powell down one time as well. That was on Showbox.
Oh, punching at once. Thompson not being deterred. He took a shot to land one. Now going to Powell's body with that right lead. Powell gets on the jab again. Lead left hand.
And Nick, you look for growth in fighters. That's why we have repeat fighters on Showbox. You gotta admit, Powell looks a lot more relaxed than he did in Laughlin, Nevada. Now, in that fight, he got dropped by Grady Brewer, who was a better fighter than Thompson. But nonetheless, Powell's showing why he's a prospect. Putting his punches together, good hand speed, nice movement. He's controlling the fight.
Thompson putting his shots together now. He's got Powell in retreat, but certainly not unglued by any sense. As we hit the end of 3.
That's all right. It's okay. You remember when the guy called me, you combination. The teacher gave me the hook. Because if you work in hook, you remember that means more combination. Not say 1, 2, 3, more. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, fast run. You forget the body. The guy come with the right hand. Fast, touching the body. See. Okay? See. You good?
Okay, listen, Sechew. You only throw the uppercut when he comes to you. The hook is the key, okay? Only throw the uppercut when he comes to you, okay? But the hook is the key, all right?
Not too much worry.
That's Francisco Guzman, now the head trainer for Sechew Powell. Gone is Angel Rivera, but in the corner, Al Mitchell, who is an amateur, has a tremendous amateur career as a coach, has been with Powell for nearly 10 years, Steve.
Yeah, Mitchell comes in from Michigan for the fights. Al Mitchell worked with Vernon Forrest, and he's an U.S. Olympic coach. But the change in trainers to Guzman, a good move, because the previous trainer was more of a personal trainer, a conditioner. But Francisco Guzman, he's worked with Yohan Guzman, world champion at 122 pounds, more of a pro trainer. And that's what Powell needs at this point to go to the next level.
Well, Thompson has just gotten into gear, Steve, with that right hand to the body. And man, this guy is difficult to discourage, taking a lot of shots, but really wants to make this a brawl. Just keep punching and not get lucky, but maybe tag Powell on that second and third shot. But he's got to let his hands go, and that was Guzman's essential instructions to Powell between rounds. Let your hands fly, and both men in that corner, Steve, agreed that hook is the key. You know, I like the fact that Thompson hasn't abandoned the jab. It's not been terribly effective, but he is trying to come in behind that against the lefty.
I'm not touching that, Nick, because we've had arguments and arguments and arguments about the jab against the southpaw. Hey, I admit sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Maybe if he feints a little more coming in, he could get Powell to commit and maybe counter him with that right hand.
You got it. That's the ticket. You know, Thompson has to land the right hand. That's clear. He has a better chance of doing it if Powell is moving his left hand. Have a clearer path to the chin. Yeah, Powell's landed his best shots. Thompson has a good chin.
Powell very much in control, in the black. Just pot-shotting Thompson on the way in. Thompson's nose is bloodied now.
Yeah, he's getting busted up, Nick. He's swelling. And he's taking a lot of shots right in the middle of the face, hard shots.
Yeah, Powell, hard shots the key, Steve. I agree with you. Really punching with conviction. Tons of snap on his shots.
And Powell on Showbox, when he fought Grady Brewer, he looked tentative. There's a big left hand.
Oh, as solid as they come.
His next fight, his last fight, he fought George Armenta, and he boxed his way. And he didn't show a lot of power. He's really combining his boxing and the power punching tonight much better.
I'm impressed. He's a good mover, isn't he?
Yeah, he moves well.
Hit the end of the fourth, scheduled for 8.
Time.
Okay, because you letting him get off first on you, seeing that give him a chance to set up. Okay, how you feel? Okay. When he throw that jab, throw your hook. Okay. Go. All right. Grab the bucket. Got it.
Steve, Thompson definitely worse for wear here halfway through, but what's he doing best?
I think you said it earlier in the fight. He's not getting discouraged.
Yeah, he's determined.
He's determined to come forward. Hey, he's not going to outbox Sechew Powell. He needs to knock him out or knock him down a couple of times. The only way he's going to do that is if he's in punching range, and the only way he's going to be in punching range if he's coming forward. So that's what he's doing best. He's still in the fight. If he gets lucky or gets good with a big right hand, he'll be at least be in position to land it.
Who's got more power in your opinion? I know that Powell's obviously landed more blows. Whoa! That was a slip.
Yeah.
Feet right on that.
That's ruled a knockdown.
No knockdown.
No knockdown.
No knockdown.
Good
that
call.
looked like a broad jump,
Right?
didn't it? Like a long jump.
Box.
Boy, back comes Thompson. Body attack. Mitch Miner, his trainer, wants him to throw that left hook as a counter.
There it was.
Fired there. Behind the right hand.
Oh, break.
That's a push, huh?
Stay in the corner. No knockdown. No knockdown.
Both been on
let's
the
go.
canvas,
Box.
but no knockdowns here in the 5th.
Well, the lead foot of each fighter is, of course, they're on top of each other. You can see they step on each other's
feet,
toes
guys.
quite
Watch
a
your
bit.
feet.
Exactly, as Mike Ortega just called it, Steve.
It's inevitable, Nick. There's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, a nice shot on a button from Powell. Now he backs up, resets. Thompson trying to load up here.
And you see what a difference amateur experience. You know, I know the pro game is different, but Powell is just a little sharper with his punches, and Thompson's trying. The determination is there, but he doesn't seem to really know how to set up his shots or counterpunch. When he wings his shots, first of all, they're not as straight and crisp as Powell's, and they don't seem to be coming at the right time, and that's why he's not landing them flush.
Great point. Also, I haven't seen Thompson fight effectively inside.
And Powell deserves some of the credit for that, Nick, because I don't think Powell wants to fight inside.
So he's just creating, he's setting the distance, right? Controlling range.
Yeah, it's easy to do if you move your feet.
Powell is a good mover. Now he's trying to sucker Thompson in by dropping that lead hand. And as Thompson plunges forward, he eats another left hand. Powell on the ropes. Here's Thompson's best opportunity. Now we'll see if he can mug him at all. Body him around. Not a lot of steam on those punches as Powell drives him off with a flurry of his own. Crowd getting into it big in the fifth. Thompson starting to wing shots.
Time.
Pat, next time, you gotta, what you gotta do.
Pour this cup.
Okay, got you. Deep breath. Look here. When he jab, I want you throwing that hook, okay? And you gotta feint more. You gotta feint more and then punch behind the feints, okay? Here.
Action from round 5. Watch the feet. Whoa! You saw Thompson's left foot was totally on top of Powell's right. See it again. And that's why first and 10. And then later in the round, it happens again. That time their knees locked. You know, it's really amazing, Nick, it doesn't happen more often with southpaws and right-handers.
What do you think of that strategy, Steve, in terms of basically Midge Minor wants Patrick Thompson to wait and let Powell commit and counter. How do you, I mean, through 5 rounds, Thompson knows he can't be ahead.
No, it's a shutout for Powell. The counterpunch idea is actually, I think, a pretty good idea. But I wouldn't counter with the left hook. I'd counter with the right hand, counter Powell's left hand.
Right. Powell getting off fast again. Pulled his punch there. His shots have been straight up the middle, as opposed to, as you mentioned, Patrick Thompson's looping blows.
See Powell only 2-2, but neither fighter has any KOs in fights 6 rounds or more. We're in round 6. Graphic would suggest we're going 8. See Powell looking to counter with the left hand. You can just see, there it is.
Yeah, very quick as he puts his hands into play, trying to lure Thompson forward, nail him as he comes forward. And now, when Thompson refuses to take the lead, Powell is content to stick that jab in his face. And now, 3-punch combinations. Powell, left hand low. Thompson can't track him down. Patrick Thompson, just his 13th professional fight, but Powell in for only the 15th time in his career. Cracked with a right hand is Thompson. Back comes Powell as he lets the hands go. And Thompson looks a little hurt here, Steve.
Best punch of the fight for Powell. Interesting, it was a right hook.
He should hold on, it seems. But I'm glad he's really come to fight. So Thompson going for broke now. Powell content to cover up.
Let him go.
Under a minute to go here in the 6th.
Thompson's all heart. You can see his feet. His legs are not right now, and he's still coming forward. Every step he takes, Nick, his calves, his legs are shaking. He's just not right. He's still hurt. And look at him coming forward. There's no any other way.
Oh, Powell rifles that uppercut. Now sticks the jab. Powell just looking to pick his shots now. There's the right hook. Once, twice. Elusive measures from Powell, and now he's on the attack again. He's able to punch when he wants, Steve, and rest when he wants.
Very focused. Powell is very focused, Nick.
Time. Doc, take a look at him.
Let me get the bucket in, please.
You okay? You all right?
Hey. How you feeling? You okay? All right. 3 deep. 3 deep. You bring the water? No. I can't operate with you in my way.
Action from round 6. All fight long, Powell's been landing in combination. You don't see one punch from him. 1, 2, 3. And the third shot, the right hook, is what landed. Look at the same. That was the best punch of the fight. You see Thompson rocking on his legs there. Again, combinations, left uppercut, and now they all come because Powell knows he has his man hurt.
Nothing coming back from Patrick Thompson.
Let's go, Bucks.
Steve, just a minor criticism. I thought Powell should have just jumped all over him. It seemed that Thompson was very much dazed.
Well,
he backed off and reset. And
yeah, that was a chance for Powell to stop him. He may still do that. He's landed flush right here.
Here we go.
For 5 rounds, it was a boxing match. It was a boxing lesson. In round 6, it started turning into a beating.
Thompson's never stopped trying, but he's getting outclassed here by Sechew Powell in black. Powell looking for openings, ripping those shots, avoiding the return fire. Thompson bloodied. Powell slips out of danger.
And I'll tell you, Nick, you know, you really think about it. Thompson is getting better, presumably because he's more experienced. Didn't have the amateur background. The 3 toughest guys he fought, Matt Vanda, Dennis Sharp, Giovanni Lorenzo, he was competitive with all of them. He really hasn't been competitive in this fight. And that's definitely, that's a big plus when you consider where Sechew Powell is as a prospect.
Good point, and that's how we would assess his performance. You don't need knockouts to look impressive. Sure, it's more dazzling, but I think Powell has sparkled so far. Cracking with that lead left hand. Man, Thompson continues to plow ahead. Trying to feint his way in. Not really throwing Powell off stride in the least.
Well, now the question, really the only question left in this fight, can Powell score a stoppage? It would be nice because he's had 2 consecutive decision wins. He's beating him up. He doesn't have to stop him, but I'm sure he'd like to.
Oh, waiting, searching, finding a home with that left again. Boy, he's been drilling his shots. Straight, crisp, good accurate punching from Sechew Powell.
And I think Powell has had so much success in accurately punching at the face and head that he hasn't really used much of a body attack.
He has not.
And maybe that's something that if you're going to find the criticism, and it's hard, he's won every round, but if you're going to find the criticism, I would like to have seen a little more body work from Powell.
Boy, he's getting it done. An almost complete performance. Thompson a little tired, gets driven back with that straight left. But here he comes fighting back with a charge of his own.
Time.
1 round to go here at Mohegan Sun.
Number 8, right? All right, number 8, right? It's okay, they come and see. Hey, put it in here. Number 8.
Go ahead, get in.
Okay.
Oh, they.
Yeah, this is the last round. You incoherent. Okay.
The bucket's right there on your left.
All right. Here, get some water.
This one in you?
Combination, okay?
That's the reason I didn't give you the screw. You're in shape. This is your last round. Put it together. The only reason
what's the roll now? What's the roll now?
you're not doing the job. Okay. Well, stop. You're giving too much long.
Give me 3D. Mouthpiece. Okay. Here.
Let's go. Second time. Let it loose, brother. Let it loose.
Last round.
Last round.
Steve, I just love what Al Mitchell just told Sechew Powell. The only reason this guy's basically still around, you're giving him too much respect. I like it. Go for it. Sure, he's got a 7-0 lead. He's going to win this fight by decision, hands down. But I like that. Don't just back off and look okay and not take any chances. Certainly, again, as I always say, don't fight stupid, but that's a slip. Blood streaming from the nose.
No knockdown. No knockdown. Let's go. I know.
Boy, Thompson just tons of heart.
But Nick, your point is a good one because Powell doesn't only have to win. Yeah, he's a young fighter. You have to sell yourself. You know, when you're an older fighter, winning is all it's about. When you're a young fighter, it's winning and how you win, because you have to make an impression.
And that last fight on Showbox stuck in his craw. There's no doubt he took it. He took the criticism with a lot of class, Powell, but it definitely stung. And he knows it. He knows he knew he had to step it up here tonight. And he's done it.
And he's not the first fighter on Showbox who did not look great his first time on the air and then came back and looked much better. Of course, Kermit Cintron comes to mind. And
David Estrada, we'll see. Yeah,
exactly.
Good point.
So sometimes you give a guy a second chance and you see the real fighter.
Whoa, looping left lands from Powell. Now he strings the combinations together. Thompson battling back, but that left eye is beginning to close. Halfway through this final round as Powell zeroes in on a waiting target.
And even though it's the 8th and final round, the body shot or two would bring the guard down, make it easier for Powell to land the money shots.
That's a good point. Man, I give Thompson credit. He's got what I always call hard bark on him, doesn't he, Steve? Tough guy.
Oh, yeah. Too hard for his own good, huh?
Yeah. 1 minute now. Mitchell just barked. You got a minute left. Just jab and box. And don't take any chances. But I hope that's not the case. Powell looking for openings. Thompson not willing to oblige. He walked into a shot there. Patrick Thompson, bloodied and clearly beaten here, as Powell puts that combination together and pokes it home once again.
Thompson's face is a hideous mask of blood, and Powell looks like he's just jogged a mile in a health club in Brooklyn. I mean, he looked like he hasn't been hit once. And Nick Powell's a Yankee fan, so how bad? You know, you gotta love him just for that.
No, just because somebody sitting next to me is a Yankee fan.
Let him out. Step back clean. Step back.
Once again, make it clear, Patrick Thompson took this fight on relatively short notice, knew that he didn't have the experience by any means, knew that he was the older fighter and that there's no time to wait, and you got to take a shot, and he took a huge risk taking on this man, Sechew Powell, who took him to school tonight. Just a matter of outclassing him, as he flat out pitched a shutout in this, Steve. I would think it would be pretty clear to say.
Okay, my brother. All right.
That's a warrior.
Hey, I think Powell appreciated Thompson's effort, you know? How could you not, one fighter to the other?
No question. He didn't run.
Take a breather, just have a seat.
Pat, just have a seat for a second, all right?
Take a little breather.
Just look at you.
Where they at?
I'm right here.
I'm all right, pal.
Okay.
Never just another night at the office in boxing, is it, Steve?
No.
There's no casual Fridays, are there?
Great work.
Excellent.
Let's get this stuff off. You got the tape? You got the thing?
Yeah, they like the performance in the corner of Sechew Powell. And so do we, Steve.
8-0 on my card, 80-72.
Very effective punching, good movement.
We got another one on the belt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Brownsville, Brooklyn, stand up. Stand up. Stand up for my team, please. Run time. Senior Guzman, Gio Guzman, Darius Ford, Al Mitchell, Randy Ramirez, Chico, Murder Guzman, everybody. Much love, Ellie Skelly, much love.
Sechew Powell, Brooklyn, New York, shines tonight, Steve.
And all the highlights in this fight were Sechew Powell. Watch, every time he lands a shot, a good shot, it's in combination. 1-2 right there. 1-2. Well, all the punches, too. Not just the straight right and the straight left, but uppercuts, right hooks. And not that many southpaws have that big array of punches. And all those punches, well, the effect of them, all you got to do is look at Thompson's face, and it tells you all you need to know about this fight.
Joe Antonacci makes this one official now.
Boxing fans, after 8 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecard. Judge George DeGabriel sees the bout 79-73. Judge Tom Kazmarek sees the bout 80-71. And Judge Steve Epstein sees the bout 80-72 for your winner by unanimous decision.
We'll take it.
The Iron Horse Sechew Powell.
No surprises there as Sechew Powell fought with the kind of fire we were waiting to see here on Showbox. He was aggressive. He created openings. He kept the heat on, and he pitched a clear shutout.